In the age of music accessibility and oversaturation, it is a rare feeling to find something of a reflective, wholesome nature, emotion-wise. I come across a lot of good new records, fine, okay, new records, which of course capture the climate, mirror their generation, but often, I'm not saying all the time, but often, it's one-sided. There's this good album with forthcoming complex yet not overdone production, but lyrically it could go quite simple or stale or even wrong, or there are no lyrics at all and you have to figure it out all yourself, which is sometimes could be a little bit too abstract for some people. The character could prevail for sure, and in the industry there are quite a bunch of music personalities whose music is great because they're geniuses, but a lot of the time the name works for itself. You know what I mean? So whenever there's an album which combines all three, everybody lose their shit and start to believe in music making again. I think this year it might be Yves Tumor's case with the phenomenal Safe in the Hands of Love LP. I honestly don't have that much of an idea about that artist, and it makes it so much more wonderful. If we're talking about the character, my perception goes so far as the darker, weirder aesthetic of the beautiful music videos, pieces of abrasive information around the internet, in the interviews, and in the articles, with all the monikers, photographs, quite strange as well, and obviously the artistry, especially if we're talking performance, vocals, all that stuff. Every year I notice that the internet indeed made anonymity and reticence cool, and a great accompaniment to great art. Another thing to take notes from is that Safe in the Hands of Love, it's quite a personal and vulnerable work, especially with more political, contextual lyrics, in opposite to, I think, the previous music outputs, which came in a chaotic, fragmentary shape. Also great releases, but maybe not as consistent and as free as this one. Free and freedom, I think, the key words to describe all of the parts in this album. So yeah, lyrically I think it's nicely put together. I like the honesty and at times quite sharp moments. It feels just about right to get the idea and to catch the feeling. The tone and the way it's all delivered plays a huge part, of course. It keeps changing all the time in every track, guest vocalist or not. It has a range of vocal emotions from quiet and simplistic to screaming and animalistic. This way, I think it keeps you on your toes throughout the whole full length, all the album, and I think it's a great success. Plus, I feel like it might be quite hard to blend it seamlessly, which does not seem to be a problem on this at all. It has a few abrupt endings, I'm pretty sure, but other besides that, it's a beautiful, seamless stream. Production-wise, I don't even really know where to start, because it is quite a difficult record to describe instrumentally, but it goes places. It goes everywhere it should, everywhere it could, and maybe even more. Genre neutral? Yeah, I guess that's the word. But to be honest, genre neutral makes it sound more basic than it actually is in reality. It is a very complicated album by structure and by production choices, instrumental choices. It is experimental, not in a modern, vulgar way, but rather retrospective experimental, if that makes sense. For example, I was pleasantly surprised to hear classic trip hop on Lickin' an Orchid, beautiful track. I think one of my favorites on the album. If we're talking about delivery again, some of it reminds me of like the 90s or early 2000s, but that also doesn't mean that this album stays completely aside of the fresh waters, weltering in nostalgia. It sounds very modern and like something that especially I think younger people can easily resonate to. The collaboration choices were really spectacular, and out of the blue, I'm still shocked to see Danish underground superstars Creation Amor and Puce Mary on there. Both tracks very different by mood, by delivery, both incredible, and both works in the context of this album. Somewhere in the beginning, I think it was the second track, and somewhere in the end. So it sounds very wholesome, and I really like it. It sounds like a joyful record, but also mostly mournful, apocalyptic. And as I said before, I find it beautifully resonating with younger people, maybe my generation or something around my age, plus minus. I think it could be soundtrack to a lot of bigger, important events, maybe tragic events, or just something very serious, as well as to the inner turbulent state of young minds. It is a form of modern music art from start to finish, I'm pretty sure, yet it doesn't feel pompous, especially since it's still a smaller release, even though it's on Warp. But yeah, I wish all the greatest to this artist. I really enjoyed listening to this, and I will enjoy it in the future. I think this album is a grower, and it definitely will allow me to explore more, to get more details, to understand more secrets of it. I'm in complete awe with this album and would give it a perfect score if I had to. But yeah, that's all I wanted to say about this amazing record. I really hope that you will check this out if you're into something like that. I'm pretty sure you will love it as well. I think there's something for everyone. Even though I barely have time to do videos on the channel, I do really want to do them, and I have like a lot of plans and a lot of things that I want to talk about. So hopefully it will appear eventually. We would really appreciate if you'd subscribe to this channel and give this video a like and share and all this stuff. And you can follow us on social media. You can write some comments under this video about what do you think about this record? What do you think about this artist? What do you know about this artist? I still want to keep it kind of mystery, but anyway, that would be really nice to have some conversation. I will see you around. Thank you for watching, and peace off.